What's up, YouTube? It's Baby from the Zen Doc here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I am an artist and I love to document my process and share my journey and share a lot of art tutorials and inspiration videos for you. So if you're not subscribed, I promise you this is a channel that you want to subscribe to. And in today's video, I will be sharing with you the entire process of how I made this massive plaster sculpture in metallic liquid chrome. I also want to say that I know that I've made a ton of metallic chrome sculptures in the past. If you can't tell, they're one of my favorites. But I've also been really working on new colors, new pigments. I don't know if you've seen my bronze sculpture. So if you haven't, make sure to check out that video. But all I'm saying is, if you're maybe tired of the chrome sculptures, I've got more interesting, more exciting updates and colors for you in this futuristic series. So a lot of these metallic sculptures that belong in my futuristic collection, where I kind of use art, or basically this is my interpretation of art in a modern dystopian future. And so I love metallics, and I have been exploring some other colors and pigments, and I'm excited to share that with you as well. So stay tuned. But without further ado, if you're interested in seeing the behind the scenes and creative process for this incredible sculpture, let's get into it. To begin, I cut off a large piece of my flexible aluminum wire mesh and staple it to the back of my canvas. I also use a hot glue gun to glue the wire mesh to the canvas at the points in between the staples. Also note that I am wearing gloves, and you want to wear gloves when you're working with wire mesh because the ends are really sharp and they can easily hurt you. Because the canvas is so large and harder for me to maneuver, I did go ahead and staple 3 ends of the wire mesh to the canvas immediately before even figuring out the shape. Usually I like to do 2, figure out the shape, and then staple the other ends. But again, like I said, because of the size, I opted to do 3. Next, I am figuring out the base frame or the shape for my sculpture, molding the wire mesh and using the hot glue gun to hold the shape as I go along. To be completely honest with you, because of the size of the canvas, it's a lot harder for me to visualize the shape of the sculpture as a whole. And so I have to trust myself and trust my instinct and work really slowly, checking and rechecking the shape that I am working on from all angles to make sure that, it is something that I love. Once I have my base frame all figured out, I am sealing off the last end of the canvas, which I had originally left open. Next, I'm applying a layer of plaster bandages over my wire mesh to completely cover the wire mesh. And this I do by wetting the plaster bandages and smoothing it over the wire with a brush. This would also serve as the foundation for my joint compound mixture. Once the wire is completely covered, I am going in with my texture paste or my joint compound mixture and applying that over the plaster bandages. I'm using a really thick joint compound paste at the onset. Because of the size of the canvas, I have to move it around a lot to get all of the angles that I need. And I just wanted it to be durable as quickly as possible. After applying about 10 thick layers over the course of several days, I sand down the entire piece. This allows me to narrow in on areas that probably need more work. It also allows me to continue layering my joint compound mixture with more finesse. From this point onward, I mostly use a much thinner joint compound mixture, focusing on smoothing the piece and applying as smoothly as possible, except maybe in areas where I identify that I need to build more volume, in which case I would apply a much thicker paste. Over the course of 3 more weeks, I continue to apply thin layers of my texture paste, smoothing as much as possible with my brush, also going in with water and smoothing it out as much as possible. The piece did start to get a little heavy, and while I was conscious of that, I did not want to compromise on the finish of the work, but I did keep that in mind, so I did my best. When I was happy with the look, I did have a final sanding session, sanding out the entire piece, trying to get it to be as smooth as possible, buffing out any inconsistencies I could still find. After the sculpture had been thoroughly dusted off, I applied a layer of my favorite household primer, starting from the back of the sculpture in order to prepare it for painting. I allowed 1 day for the primer to fully dry before going in to apply 1 coat of my go-to acrylic black paint to provide a dark base for the chrome paint that I plan to use. This is what it looks like after 1 coat of acrylic black paint. It doesn't need to be perfect since it will be covered up anyway. After giving the black paint about 24 hours to dry, I'm going in with my liquid chrome paint and applying that over the sculpture. I wanted to work outside because the weather was really nice in New York City on that day, but it got really windy and I was worried that the wind was definitely going to destroy the sculpture, so I ended up moving inside. And this is the final look. This is styled with my favorite chrome lamp. It is very visually eye-catching. It will definitely catch your eye in any situation. Overall, it weighs about 20 pounds, which I think is not bad given the size of the sculpture itself. I wanted to make a massive one in this color, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. I would also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And so, yeah, that was the entire process. I hope that you enjoyed watching the video. I hope that it was informative and engaging for you. Um, as always, all of the materials used can be can be found in the description box. You'll find links there. Feel free to also check out my Amazon storefront where I have a wider range of all of the materials that I use. So if you're interested or if you have questions about anything or any materials that I use, maybe I used in this video or I've used in the past, they will all be linked in my Amazon storefront. If you haven't subscribed, please support your girl. It really does go a long way to encourage me to keep putting out these videos. So I really would appreciate if you just hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications. Well, I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.